A quick reaction to Real Madrid versus Marseille.
How will Xabi Alonso and his team reflect on that, do you think, Jamie?
I think he'd be relieved. You lose a man, daft really, from a player of that experience, Carragher. And then in that position, you're probably looking at, anyone going to win it. Maybe it's Marseille, maybe Xabi at that stage thinks you take you 1-1. But they get a penalty, Real Madrid. It's the penalty that we don't like here. They're given in the Champions League, they're given in European football. The league that we watch week in, week out in the Premier League, that would not be given as a handball. I don't like it. So I feel for Marseille, really. But it was a really good game, end to end. But Madrid, as usual, probably not that convincing, but get the job done.
Well, the result is kind of similar to last match. Job done, right? Again, I'm kind of pissed off that we're playing 10 men. Even last game, even today, what's going on with us? I have no idea why our players, especially the players who are probably the most experienced, lacking or slacking discipline. The guy all the young players are looking for to follow, he's the one who is doing this. Carragher. I just do not understand why he's doing it. Anyway, I say result-wise, it's pretty good. First Champions League game, and we won it. The match wasn't as we expected. We expected match would be easy. 4 or 5 goals, Xabi will just destroy Marseille. But that did not happen. Football is real, right? It's not like what we dream of. However, there are also a lot of positives we can discuss later on. Overall, I'm happy with the result.
Start by talking about the Real Madrid-Marseille game. Real Madrid winning at the Bernabeu, 2-1 the final score. Let's start with an early chance from Kylian Mbappe and go through the highlights.
Ballon d'Or winner next year, of course. You never write off this man. I mean, he's just so good. He looks electric. Thiery talked to him about before the game. But he just seems to be playing with a different sort of confidence at the moment. I know he scored a lot of goals last season, but he's actually playing well and scoring goals this season. And unlucky with that first shot. A little, what do you call it, acrobatic?
Yes.
So one thing I have to agree with Mika, that Mbappe's confidence looks totally different. And I don't know the reason. Is it because maybe he knows the team? Maybe he knows how our team plays. He knows his teammates. He knows the chemistry. Or it's just something else? Or is it something like motivation or confidence by Xabi? I have no idea. Something is different. And Mbappe looks like he's going to be one of the best players. I have no idea. His body language, you can see. He almost scored a bicycle. Think about that.
I guess one of the incidents you thought could be a key incident was Dani Carvajal getting red carded and Madrid going down to 10
Yeah,
men.
he's better than that. He's an experienced player. It's a red card. You don't go to the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper's reaction is very embarrassing, but yeah, it's a red card. You can't put your head in someone's face like that.
You and Clint Dempsey, wasn't it?
But come on, the referee gets it right. Definite red card.
Then we want to look at
Okay, the question is, did Marseille player act? Did an Oscar-like activity? Yes, he did. But why did Carvajal give him the opportunity? Why? Carvajal, he's almost, if I'm not mistaken, all out of my head, I think he's almost 35 years old. And you are acting like a man-child. How do you act like this? And you have the most responsibility. You know that. Arnold got injured at early of the match. And you are the only right back we have. And you are acting like this. This is not acceptable from a captain of Real Madrid.
of course, we always look at the incident first, so let's take a look at the penalty incident that would win the second penalty.
Listen, I'm furious with this. I mean, what defending that is? You're in the Bernabeu, you're trying to hang on. You produce a brilliant tackle against one of the best players in the world, and the ball bounces up and hits your hand. I actually think that might be one of the worst ones I've ever seen. I'm not trying to be dramatic. I can't. It's an amazing piece of defending. His arm is by his body. There's nothing he can do, and as soon as it hits him, he's getting his hand down. What is he supposed to do?
Gravity is taking him down, isn't it?
Where's he supposed to go? His arm is coming down, but his arm isn't outside. He hasn't done a wild swing. It's just next to his body, exactly where it should be. Brilliant piece of defending, getting penalised. I mean, listen, this is a group game, and listen, who knows? But they've got 8 games or another 7 games to rectify it and, you know, try and get through to the, you know, wherever they go through the knockout stage. But could you imagine losing a Champions League final like that? Unbelievable. It's shocking.
Well, I'm sure the
Well, this is really controversial. If you go to social media, like opposition team, rival teams, and anti-Real Madrid fans, all the Premier League fans, they're totally against this penalty. They're calling against Real Madrid. Again, this is not totally unexpected. Anything happens against Real Madrid, people will be more angry, right? Because the most successful club in history. Now, this is my opinion. The question is, if you look at all the decisions with this kind of penalties in UEFA match, let's forget about La Liga, because La Liga is totally outlier, different, right? They're the worst of the worst. But in Champions League, at least we see some consistency. Some of the consistency we see that when you have this situation, how they give you a penalty if the arms is stretched. The question is his arms stretched or not? That is yes, right? His arm was stretched, was far from the body. If his arm were, say, stuck to his body, they probably would not award this penalty. So if we follow the rules, not necessarily rules, but consistency with all the other decisions, I don't see any problem awarding this as a penalty.
Christine.
Go on, you agree with Jamie?
Well, hello. You know what, Kate? That is definitely a leading way to ask that question, and you know better than that. No, I will not defend this with respect, because I don't think it's the correct decision. There's been a lot of chatter as to whether this is the bracing arm, which is a part of the analysis of a handling offense, and the answer is it's not part of the bracing definition, right? Whereas where typically you have your hand underneath your body while you're supporting it for a slide. This is really a conversation as to whether or not this is deliberate or not. I think Jamie hit a lot of those categories on the head. At the end of the day, his body is in the natural silhouette of where it would be if you were going down on that type of a challenge. It's expected. He has nowhere else he can move his arms, and naturally that's where he would move his arms. But this is that conversation that we have where even the laws have now included into interpretation. Distance, did he kick it into his own hand? Is the defender kicking the ball in? By him making that challenge, the majority of that contact occurs because he is making that defensive challenge, which makes the ball pop into the natural. So I don't like this decision. I don't think this is what should have been given. I think the decision should be no penalty. Now the question is going to come, well, then why did VAR not recommend it down to overturn the penalty decision? And because this is not necessarily, I still think this is wrong. I still think VAR should send it down for the referee to review, because I do feel like this would fall under a clear and obvious error. And I think that's what the referees are going to find out from the UEFA Observer when we talk about it next week, or when they discuss it with them in the next week, that this should not have been a penalty given. And if given, we would want VAR to intervene to recommend no penalty.
So here's some of my observation, what I saw from Christina Uncle. Whenever she comes to this show, like if there's a penalty or any kind of decision, he always agrees with the referee or VAR. The only time I saw she disagrees is a decision that favors Real Madrid. That's the only time she disagrees. And this is just one of them. I already explained what is my opinion about this penalty. So I'm not going to reiterate or repeat what I said.
To the studio.
Congratulations on the win. First game in the Champions League for Real Madrid. You came clutch with 2 penalties. You got the Man of the Match award as well too. Give me your thoughts on the performance today.
Oh, we're happy. Happy to start the Champions League with a win. At home, it was important. We know how tough it is to start the Champions League with a win. That's what we did. It was not an easy game, but we're back with the win at home. All the fans are happy right now, but I think we can still improve. It's just the start of the season. We know what we do good, what we can improve, and we hope to be better on the next game and on the next weeks.
I do absolutely like Mbappe's answer here. Very concise and very simple, and he agrees that we won the game, that's fine, and we're happy. Of course, we have to be happy because you got the first win of the Champions League, but you also have to improve, and that's 100%. We have to improve, and improvement doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, right?
Speaking of improving, you had 11 shots on target in that first half. How frustrating was it that you couldn't convert any of those before the penalty?
No, we have to be better. We have to be better. Me first. I think we had many chances to open the score, and we didn't. And at the end, in the Champions League, when you don't score, the other team score. That's what Marseille did. So at the end of the day, we have to work on training more to be more efficient in front of the goal and to score more goals. I think we can. We have the potential for, and we're going to do it in the next games.
What's it like playing for Xabi Alonso? He's made it very clear that this team is going to be based around you. You are key for him.
I'm important, yes, but I think all the team are important. That's what he wants to say. That everybody on the pitch have to bring something to the team, to bring something to the table. And that's what we do for the moment. But we know also that we can improve, we can be better. It's just the start of a new project for him, for the team, for us too. So we have to learn and to listen what he's going to say and to be better.
And just finally, next week, as you know,
Again, solid answer. I'll take a look quickly. First of all, he said, first half we had a lot of chances, a lot of shots, but we couldn't score. Why? We have to improve, right? For example, the Marseille chance that created by Mbappe, that should be scored no matter who, no matter how. That should be a goal, in my opinion. Because for that chance creation, I like the way we played from the back. Like straight vertical passing and then chance creation and score the goal, right? But somehow Marseille could not do the best. Again, he's young. Maybe he needs more time. One thing what I noticed is Marseille, he has confidence. The thing what I noticed that he lacks composure probably in the final third. He just cannot finish it. Like sometimes when he needs to find a pass, he needs to find his teammates, he just tries to shoot for no reason, despite he doesn't have the best chance at that moment. Sometimes whenever he has the chance, he just cannot finish it. Maybe he just need 1 or 2 goals so that he can get his confidence. Maybe then we'll see the difference. The other point that Mbappe mentioned about the Xabi said he's key player, and I like Mbappe's answer. He said, no matter I am one of the key player, but ultimately 11 players, right? Everyone has to be their best. Everyone has to play, and everyone has to have similar role. It's not about one player. Football is not one player match. It's about 11 players playing together as a team. That's when you will see the result. That's when you will see the success. Anyway, let's discuss a little bit nitty-gritty details. I like the starting lineup today from Xabi. I saw so many changes I did not expect. First of all, Vinicius again benched. I think that was reasonable because we saw Vinicius in last match had super poor game. So I'm not entirely shocked, but many fans I saw on Reddit were totally shocked that Vini got benched. And Rodrigo is back. I think this rotation is needed because both of them have to compete with each other. Because we saw both of them look like not their best. Although I say first 30 minutes or maybe first half, what I saw from Rodrigo are really convincing, or I'm satisfied because he had a few good moments with the Mbappe and link up. And although he's not his best, but I like overall his performance in first 30 minutes or say first half. And then midfield, Fede, Arda and Tchouaméni. This is the most commonly used midfield so far this season by Xabi. I don't know how to feel about midfield. I just feel something is lacking at this midfield. Like we don't have a clear chance creator other than Arda. Fede is not his best nowadays. I think he needs more time. He's a little bit tired probably. But once we see the best Fede, then we might see better chemistry at midfield. If you compare all the best midfielders or best midfield in the world in all the top teams, I feel our midfield lacks a little bit compared to any other top teams. Now we have to wait until Bellingham is back, and I'm really eagerly waiting to see how Xabi field his 11 and how Bellingham suits his starting lineup. And do we play better? That's a question we are waiting to see. Let me know, what do you think about our performance today?